Have you ever asked yourself, who am I really? Are you willing to dive in? How is it we can do some amazing and sometimes unexplainable things, like heal our own bodies by the power of our thoughts? Mother's intuition, the law of attraction. Can we really tap into our subconscious mind? Can we really create our own realities? It begs the question, are we novice gods? Hey, excited to talk to you today. We're talking about our identity, who we are really, what our life is about, what our purpose is. Do we have meaning in life? And so I hope today's conversation is meaningful to you. That as you start to look at who you are really, that you allow yourself the opportunity to embrace maybe some new ideas that you hadn't embraced before, you hadn't considered. So anyway, I want to share with you kind of this story that haunted me for a long time, and it's my story. But I know whenever I would be around little kids, little babies, and they would I would catch their gaze, they would look at me and their eyes would fixate on my eyes and would kind of lock that gaze. I was embarrassed because I felt like they could see right through to my soul. I felt like they were just these bright, precious little angels that just came from God, and they didn't have this whole veil of forgetfulness over them, and they could see clearly who I was, and they knew I was living a lie. They knew I wasn't being the full version of myself. They knew I was living shallow and small to who I was. And when our eyes would lock like that, there was this thing inside of me that says, they know who you are, and they know you are not living as that person. Have you ever had an experience like that? Have you ever felt embarrassed that what if somebody knows the real you, or that maybe they do know the real you, and what if they tell? What if they announce to the world that you are not living as the fullest expression of yourself, that you are not living as the full version of yourself, that you are living small, that you are hiding, that you are pretending your life when you are destined, you are meant, you are indeed right now much greater than you are living? Have you ever had that feeling, those thoughts? Anyway, those feelings would haunt me all the time. And I remember that I was really frustrated because I knew I was living small. I knew I wasn't living as the full version of myself. And yet I was frustrated to how to actually do that. I mean, I was going to work every day. I was punching the clock. I was doing my best work there. I was winning awards and, making money and all this stuff, but I didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't feel like I was really being me. I wasn't living my purpose. I wasn't doing what I was sent here to do, and it gnawed away at me. It just ate away at me. Have you ever been there? Are you there now? Are you feeling like your life is much more magnificent than or it should be? And that you have a much greater purpose, that you have things to contribute in this world that you haven't yet contributed. And you're a little bit embarrassed about it. And you're wondering, how is it that I get there? How do I get there from here? Well, if you are there, I want to share a few things that hopefully will just kind of open your minds so that you can know who you are. I think so many of us forget who we truly are. C.S. Lewis, this is a quote attributed to C.S. Lewis, and he said, "You don't have a soul. You are a soul, you have a body." Isn't that fun? You don't have a soul, you are a soul, you have a body. If you think about yourself in kind of an eternal significance, think about who you truly are and what you are capable of. I love science. I really do. And I know that sometimes I kind of make fun of some things that come up with science that we just believe without really questioning. But one of the things that they have recognized is that matter can't be created or destroyed. It can only change forms. And if we think about our souls, if we think about our spirits that come into our bodies, they can't be created or destroyed. So if that's true, and I've been there when I was there when my father passed, and you just kind of feel his spirit leaving. When that happens, what happens at birth? Where did our spirits come from? I believe our spirits, our souls are eternal. I believe that we lived before and that this earth experience is a time for us. It is not a test. It is a training ground time for us. Time for us to grow and improve our skills so that we can be much more than we are capable of now. Think about that. Kind of try that belief on, as a sweater or as a sweatshirt. Does it feel good? Does it feel warm? Does it feel true to who you are? Who are you really? Could you really be a child of God? Could you really be this eternal spirit that lived before and will live after, and right now you are here for a reason and for a purpose? Wow, how does that feel? So throughout this whole series, we're asking questions like, what if? What if that were true? What if that were true, that you actually have a purpose to your life? What if all the challenges that you are experiencing right now, that there is there's meaning to it, that there is purpose behind that, and that it's not this haphazard thing that was just thrown together, but that your life actually has a plan. As you try on these beliefs and try on new beliefs about yourself, about who you are, about what you're capable of, about any limiting beliefs that you've had, and you've taken that and you've thrown that in the garbage, and you allow yourself the opportunity. What if I believe that I'm more? What if I believe that I'm smarter? What if I believe that I can remember people's names? What if I believe that I can be creative? What if I believe I can be helpful? What if I believe my life has meaning, that I can contribute and make somebody else's life a little bit better, a little bit easier by me having lived? As you translate to that, whatever is going through your mind on your what ifs, as you challenge those thoughts, as you try them on and see what feels good to you, what resonates with you, what moves you forward, what allows you to be a bigger version of yourself, a more fulfilled, a more abundant version of yourself. Excuse me. I was reading, actually I was listening to yesterday, Martin Luther King in his very last address called I've Been to the Mountaintop. In there he talks about us being children of God. I love that belief. And if that belief is true, what does it mean for us? What can we do now with that? And what can we do in the future? But if we have that relationship with God, do we have His divine DNA? Is there something that we can do? Just kind of try those beliefs on and see how they feel. I really think that we've forgotten who we are. When we think about, like a movie that I love is the Bourne Identity series, kind of the early Jason Bourne movies, where he's forgotten who he is, yet he still has all these skills and talents. I think that's kind of how we are. How is it that we can consciously create things? We can manifest things in our lives. How can we, using the placebo effect, when a doctor makes us believe something's going to make us better, how is it that we believe that and we heal our own bodies through the power of our belief? I think we are gods in training, gods in embryo. We are novice gods. Isn't that kind of fun? Anyway, so try on these beliefs. And as you think about them, think about what the potential for your life is. And I hope that you will find and fulfill your purpose. What are your thoughts? You've had time to think. Now it's time for you to share. In the comments section below, share your thoughts, ideas, and questions, especially any insights that inspired you to take action. Of course, the best place to take action is at scottwilhite.com, because if you join me for a free web class, I will reward you with a purpose planner so you can start each day with confidence, clarity, and conviction. What if you are a God in the making? That would mean there's purpose to your life, meaning to your challenges. You have a great work to do. May you have the courage, faith, and power to become who you were truly meant to be. See you next time.